Good morning, girls. In the previous session of J2EE, we started learning Jsp tags, right? We have already discussed about the forward action tag. Now, in today's session, we are going to learn about include action tag of Jsp. The Jsp include action tag is used to include the content of another resource. It may be Jsp, HTML or servlet. The Jsp include action tag includes the resource at request time. So it is better for dynamic pages because there might be changes in future. When the Jsp container translates the page, this directive causes the indicated file to be included in that place in the page and become a part of your Java source file that is compiled into the Jsp page implementation class. That is, it is included at translation time. Using the include directive, the include file does not need to be a complete and valid Jsp page, right? With the include standard action, the Jsp file stops processing the current request and passes the request to the included file. The included file passes its output to the response. After that, control of the response return to the calling Jsp, which completes further process of the response. The output of the included page or servlet is included at request time, and components that are included via the include action must be valid Jsp page or servlets. The included file is neither allowed to modify the headers of the response nor to set cookies in the response. For the include element, the page attribute is required and its value is the URL of the page whose output is included in the response. Here you can see right. It begins with the Jsp include keyword, same as Jsp forward. The attribute is page attribute. One more attribute you can set for include action tag, that is flush. The flush attribute is optional and indicate whether the output buffer should be flushed before the include file is called. The default value is false. If the Jsp needs to pass parameter to the included file, it does so with the help of Jsp param tag, as we have done in our forward action tag. Right here you can see the syntax of Jsp include tag with parameter tag. Right, one element is used for each parameter. This element is optional. If it is included, both the name and value attribute are required. The included Jsp page can access the parameter using the get parameter method and get parameter values method of the request object. Okay, that we have already done in forward action tag, right? Before we start the example of Jsp include action tag, let us see the difference between Jsp include and Jsp include action tag and Jsp include directive. As we have somewhere already learned about Jsp include directive, right? So let us see what are the differences between these two. Jsp include directive includes the resource at translation time, whereas Jsp include action tag, this tag includes the resource at the request time. Okay, your translation time means what? The conversion of Jsp page to its equal servlet page by web container. Jsp include directive can give a better, it is better for static pages, whereas if your pages are dynamic, then the Jsp Include Action Tag is a better option. Include directive includes the original content in the generated servlet, whereas Jsp Include Action calls the include method, right? Here one thing you have to keep in your mind, where to use include action. In case of if you are building your Jsp page which has some dynamic content in it, at that time you can use Jsp Include Action Tag. And if you are making static pages, at that time you can use Jsp Include Directive. So these are the basic difference between Jsp Include Directive and Jsp Include Action Tag. Now let us build one example of Jsp Include Action Tag, right? For that we need NetBeans IDE. We will create one more example in it, example number 10. Let us open IDE. Go to file menu, click on new project, create one more project for your Jsp example, give an appropriate name to your project. Here we are doing example number 10, so here I have given Jsp_ex_10. Let me write everything in small letters. Jsp_ex_10. Click on next. No need to do any changes in this page, right? Click on next. No need to do any changes in framework. Click on finish. As you can see, we got index.jsp ready-made page, right? Remove all these lines. Meta tag also we don't want in our file, so you can remove it. Now inside the body tag, here we will write the content. My index page, okay. This is a content of our head tag, and next we will do our coding. Let us start. Jsp include page, Jsp include plus and page. You can see the name of attributes are listed here. As I told you, flush will clean all attributes are this option is optional, and it indicates whether the output buffer should be flushed before the include file is called, right? If you want to clear the buffer, output buffer, then you can take this attribute. Otherwise this is not mandatory. You can take the second one, page. Whatever page you want to include over here, you can take, you can write the name of that page in the form of URL. Current date we are taking .jsp. Don't want to define any parameter, okay. Then here we will write end of section of index page, right? Instead of that, I am giving a label content from included page. Okay, this is a content of included page, and this is a content from index page. Now let us define one JSP page with name, print date in the same folder. For that, right click on web pages, click on new and take JSP. Print date, finish. Do the coding of this page. This page we want to include in index.jsp, right? So here we will just write a date, nothing else, like this. As I told you, you can give this label outside this also, and then you can take java.util.calendar package over here. This is our label. Now here I will write don't forget to put semicolon. Okay, that's it. In this page, this thing only we want to do. Whatever coding you want to do over here, you can do it. Like if you want to define your header file for your whole project, you can create header file, right? And then you can include that file in your index page or wherever you want, right? But it is better if your if the content of your page is dynamic, you can go with this option, and if your content is static, then you can go with the include page directive option. So let us run this project by right clicking on example number 10. Run it. You can see the content from index page that we have written in my index page. There we have written my index page, this label only, and exactly below it content from included page, right? You can see this label, and hello world is exactly this is defined in your second page in your print.jsp, right? Here you can find and exactly below it you can we have placed a date and current time. Open your browser and here you can see the date of our current system. So this content came from the page print date, and this content is from our index page. I repeat, see here we are not moving our control on the next page. Instead of that, what we are doing, we are including another page in our current page. And in case of forward tag, we redirected our control to the next page. This is the difference between forward tag and include tag. Okay. Now example of Jsp Include Action Tag. If you want to add one parameter in it, so how we can do it? This action lets you insert a file into the page being generated. The syntax is shown here. Unlike the include directive, which insert the file at the time the JSP page is translated into servlet, this action insert the file at the time the page is requested. Right? These are the list of attribute associated with our include tag page. Here the relative URL of the page to be included, and flush is another attribute. The boolean attribute determines whether the included resource has its buffer flushed before it is included. Okay. Let us define the following two files, date.jsp and main.jsp, as follows. Following is the content of date.jsp, right, as we have already done in previous example. Here you can see another example of include directive. Sorry, not include directive but include tag. This is our date.jsp, and this page we want to include in main.jsp. So here you can see the content of main.jsp, right? HTML tag begin, title tag begin, head tag begin, body tag begin. Then here we have added Jsp include tag with URL and flush equals to true. That's it. Fine. So the same we have done in example number 10. You can even execute this program without your IDE, right? Okay, now let us switch back to NetBeans. Here what I am doing, you can see this is our print date.jsp page. I am removing HTML head and body tag from here. I am just keeping this code. Okay, now execute your program one more time. As you can see, the content from index page, my index page, and the content from included page is date, and you can see the current date of your system. Okay, so what I want to say here is no need to define the whole code as you are doing in this page, right? As we have done in this page, like HTML tag, body tag, everything we have covered in our index.jsp. So in the next page that you want to include in your current page, here no need to define all these things. Whatever lines you want, you can define in this file. Now let us modify our existing program by adding Jsp parameter, Jsp param action tag of Jsp, right? Switch back to NetBeans IDE. Here go to index.jsp. Now we are doing some changes in our existing program, right? Before we start, remove this slash and end your include tag by writing Jsp include. Okay, because we have to enclose the parameter tag between the starting of Jsp include and ending of the Jsp include. Jsp colon parameters we will take the name of this is emp name and another attribute is value. Okay, accordingly we will do some changes in print date also. Request dot get parameter, and here provide the name of parameter that you want to print from index.jsp. emp underscore nm is the name of parameter. Okay, here we will write a label. Save it and run your example 10 one more time. Here you can see what happened to it. Here we are getting employee name. It is showing null. Why is it so? Let us check. Go back to your NetBeans. Here we want a value of the parameter emp name. Let us switch to index.jsp. Here you can see the name of parameter is defined like this. E is capital and we have done E in small letters. This is our mistake. Change it, change the case of E and run it one more time. Here we got the value, right? In the previous case we got null because the name of parameter we had taken in a wrong way. Okay, it should match with the parameter name by case also. Okay, here we got the name. Let us define one more where a parameter. Go to index page, Jsp parameter. The name of this parameter is emp code. See here I am writing in small letters, everything in small. Now set the value e underscore 001. We want to print this value through another page, right? So now switch to print date. Here first one br tag for skipping our current line, employee code. This is a label and exactly below it we want to print an actual value of employee code. That you can do with the expression tag. Request dot get parameter string is emp_code. This time see here I have taken in small letter, everything in small. Same I have taken over here, and as I explained in the previous session that don't do semicolon when you are using expression tag, right? Whenever you want to print something through expression tag, never give a semicolon at the end of your expression. This is our expression, so here I have not given semicolon at the end. In the line number 7 you can observe the same, right? I have not given a semicolon. Now run your program. Here this content is from index page, then content from included page. First we have printed the current system date, right, through calendar class. The name of employee, this is a parameter defined in your index page, and we have printed this value with the help of page date Jsp page, right? Print date Jsp page. In the similar way, employee code is also printed over here. So this is an output of print date. These are an example of forward action tag and include action tag. You have to note down both the practicals in your journals under the separate project folder, right? Create it separately. So this is all about the action tags we can use in our Jsp, right? In the next session we will discuss exception handling, and way to perform exception handling we'll deal with is error page attribute in our next session. Till then, take care. Thank you.